It's a Monday in which the country is embracing Canada moving on in the World Cup. And then you've got that little thing gnawing at your brain. You got the Blue Jays still there, and you can't look away. Right now, Keegs, it's a train wreck.
It's not good, Dan. It's not good. This was supposed to be the homestand that got them turned around. This is a softer spot in the schedule. And the World Cup here is relevant too, I think, Dan, because the Jays were cheering for Team Canada louder than anyone, I think, yesterday. But we've been talking about World Cup for a bit because the Blue Jays still have that one thing that people are paying attention to. At first, the Leafs were out early, then people tracked the NHL playoffs. Then people were tuned into the Knicks run and the NBA playoffs, and now it's the World Cup. There comes a time every summer, usually it's just the Leafs, but every summer when the entire country says, okay, let's check out the Blue Jays. Let's see what they're up to. Of course, there's more attention this year because of the World Series run last year, but we're at that point now where the Jays are going to be the only show in town for the rest of the summer. And that is not looking good for them right now. This has been a very ugly run. And I think a lot of people are wisely going to be looking for some tempo tickets, some concert tickets. I got a tempo game coming up I'm pretty excited about, but it's a rough time when you're just about to get the entire national audience looking at you.
The Blue Jays have found an awful lot of different ways to lose this season, but the new thing in their latest hit is let's just lose the game as early as possible, giving up a run in the first inning in an unspeakable number of games in a row now, and giving up, as Dan mentioned before we went live, the first run in the game at any point in, I think, at least 10 games now.
That's just a killer for a team with this offense, right? Like, it keeps coming back to a bigger picture for me. And I understand that it's easy to zone in on like that wild pitch that screwed them in the Sunday game. But I'm not going to pretend that that's like indicative of who the Blue Jays are. It's just a dumb pitch that's going to happen. But when you are not scoring, every little thing gets big real quick. And when you are not putting up 8 or 10 runs every once in a while, getting down 1-0 or 2-0 in the first inning, it feels like you're down 5-0. And it gets you back into this mode, unfortunately, where every hitter in the lineup thinks they need to hit a 3-run homer. Everyone thinks they need to be the guy because the real guy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., isn't being the guy right now. There's this added layer of pressure on top of everything because Vladdy's not doing his thing. The rest of the offense isn't. And now you're down 1-0 automatically. It very understandably changes your mindset as a hitter. And I don't blame guys for that. Everyone's trying to be the person who breaks them out of this, who hits the walk-off, who changes a game. And when you do that, it's not going to happen. Baseball is not the sport that trying harder works in. You can try harder in hockey, sure, and you can outwork a guy. You're not going to do that in baseball. You end up looking worse. And that's what we're seeing from the Jays right now, over and over in winnable games. Like if they were doing this against the Yankees and the Dodgers, okay, well, whatever. Sure, you get by. But these are against teams that, number one, they should be beating, and number two, guys will be involved in the wild card race. They've now lost the tiebreaker to Texas. Done. Over in one series. Looking at all these tiebreakers, the White Sox are another one, Cleveland, Boston. Tiebreakers are going to come into play. They did last year. It's the only way the Blue Jays won the division over the Yankees, right? So all of these games kind of have double importance as well, and the Jays are not capitalizing at all.
Here's what is the big indicator of where the Jays are at, and I've mentioned this before when we've spoken. If you get called up from Buffalo, you are going to play in the game, if not that day, then the next day. That is not happening with a team that has everything figured out.
No, they were not supposed to have Yohendrick Pinango playing meaningful games. They were not supposed to be relying on Sean Keyes, but credit to him, like he's been a great story, and that one makes sense. But you look at all of the relievers who have come up from Adam Macko, guys from outside the org like Simeon Woods Richardson, they are grabbing and reaching for solutions. Luis Urias, another one who had the base running blunder the other day. Is he going to stick? I don't know. They are reaching for these answers at this point. Some of them will work out, like Brandon Valenzuela. That's great. You strike gold. Maybe Sean Keyes is another one of those. Like, I really like Sean Keyes. But you didn't do that last year, right? Last year, it felt more stable. And it is very difficult to establish an identity when you have so many people coming in and out, in and out. The only way to do that is if Vladdy and George are playing like MVPs. Then everyone goes up to their level. It's easy. The new guys who come in, they see how it happens. You go up to their level. But they don't have that right now. They don't have the guys out in front pulling the rest of the roster. It's this weird all aboard, but not in a good type of way approach. I don't know how to describe it. It's been really difficult to develop momentum because they're spinning their tires. And anytime, guys, we've talked about it probably 6 different times. Oh, is this the win that gets the Blue Jays going? Probably not, because here we are. So it's tough. I want to think of it through that lens. I feel like that only works in like the NFL where you're playing 17, right? It's the Jays get 2 or 3 in a row. We think, here they come. Boom. No, they don't.
Keegan, it seems as though with this team, basically every player up and down the roster has had struggles this season, and then they have gone through a period of correction where they've adjusted. We saw it with Lucas. We saw it with George Springer recently. Kaz Okamoto obviously has remained hot now for a while, but he's had some cold stretches. It seems top to bottom in this lineup, the only player that has not caught fire at any point is the one person who needs to more than any is Vladimir Guerrero.
This baffles me, guys. It's June 29th. Like you're halfway through the season, over halfway through the season, and Vladdy has 4 home runs. If you told me that before the season, I would have told you you're an idiot, or he must have spent 2 months on the IL. This doesn't make sense anymore. And I understand that it's John Schneider's job, and he does it the right way, quite frankly. People don't want to hear that, but just to tell people, listen, he's going to come around, give it time, he's going to come around. Because, again, what John Schneider says on the podium is not what he says to Vladdy in the clubhouse. I promise you that. But at a certain point, I mean, when? When is soon? When does that happen? Because I think that baseball leans a little too much on the it's a long season. All the games count, okay? Sometimes that's said, people only say it's a long season if they are struggling or if they are trying to be an apologist for the team. Okay, I'm a real big believer that all the games count. And at the end of the year, when you add up the wins and losses, that's 162. They all count. Okay, and we've seen this over and over. You're getting into July. You're getting close to 5 weeks away from the trade deadline, which is where you kind of need to declare to the rest of the league who you're going to be. Are you all in or are you just hoping? And we learned last year with the Blue Jays that unless you're all the way in, like unless you're really trying to do this, you're not going to do it. And that's up to Vladdy at this point, guys. I've been hesitant over the years to try to not to make everything about Vladdy. That's a little too like NBA brained or quarterback brained. Like I know this is the sport where you take turns, but it's about Vladdy. If he suddenly wakes up today and is a 950 OPS hitter, all of these other conversations don't matter. Like they really don't. They go away really quickly. The Jays flipped from a hovering below 500 team to a team that's making a playoff run. Because with Vladdy, everyone else will get better. I promise you. Like if Vladdy gets hot, everyone else will improve behind him. I guarantee it. But it's just not happening. And the swings don't look like him. You know, you don't need to be scout mode breaking it down. Oh, look at his left leg. No, they don't look like him. I can tell you that. My mom sitting at home can tell you that. They don't look like Vladdy right now. And I don't know what the solution is. It's obviously mechanical and in some ways mental at this point. Do you lock him in the batting cage and say, don't come out till you'll figure it out? I don't really love that. Do you tell him, hey, show up at 7 p.m. tomorrow and just stroll into the dugout? Okay, like have some fun. Get back to why you enjoy this game. Is that it? Like I don't know the answer to this. And if anyone does know the answer, the Blue Jays will give you $20 million tomorrow. Like anything that works.
Hopefully you know the answer to this, and it's because you're around the team. We just watch it through our TVs, and I saw Alejandro Kirk hit a home run the other day, refused the home run jacket, and that was the first glimpse of someone on that team where I'm like, okay, he gets it. He gives a shit. Because from what I'm seeing, I'm like, it looks like no one really cares. Maybe that's just me viewing it through my lens. I'm like, I want these guys to be mad. I don't want a fake John Schneider getting kicked out of a game. Oh, I care. Because that's all just smoke and mirrors. Yeah. But do they need a new voice in this room to someone to like kick them in the ass?
Kirk's the best, man. I don't think Kirk's vocal enough to do any ass kicking, but he's the best. I saw that Hazel May from Sportsnet tweeted out, and then like the video, like we're getting into like forensics on jackets now.
I love it.
That like apparently what happened is that like the arm was inside out, and like Kirk saw that the arm was inside out as Vladdy was trying to do it, and Kirk didn't want to stand there. So that good explanation. I'm glad that Hazel did that, but at the same time, like good on Alejandro Kirk for not standing there to get his jacket put on when they're losing. I mean, I don't want to turn into my grumpy uncle too quickly, but like when you're losing, you can't celebrate. Like it's still cool to hit home runs. You can still celebrate a bit, but Alejandro Kirk is a serious baseball player. And I have learned to think of it through that lens much more over the last couple of years. Yeah, you can be a good baseball player, but are you a serious baseball player? Or are you just screwing around? And I think as we see, like, think towards the bottom of the roster, guys who cycle through for 10, 20, 50 games, they're all decent ball players. There's no stars, there's no scrubs. They're just decent, kind of hanging on. Some of them are serious ball players. Some of them aren't. Like Brandon Valenzuela, when he came up, yeah, he was good, but he's a serious big leaguer. Like he fits mentally and physically and talent-wise. He's serious about this, and he fits. And the Blue Jays can benefit from that. Alejandro Kirk's the ultimate example. Like I remember I worked on a story on Kirk last year, the entire premise of which was just like, I've covered this guy's whole career, and I don't know anything about him. And multiple of the starting pitchers, like Gosman, he loved telling stories about Kirk, but Bassett and a couple others, they're like, man, like I'll come back to the dugout ranting, like this was a strike, F this umpire, screw this. And Kirk will be like, no. It's just like, and then they shut up. They're like, oh, okay. Like if Alejandro Kirk says 2 words, those carry more weight than an entire speech from a lot of guys. I don't think he's going to be the guy giving speeches, but that's why I said when he was out, like, however important you think he is, double it. He is so important to this team, not just as a catcher and as a hitter, but just how he carries himself, because he's a serious baseball player.
To Dan's point earlier too, it feels like there's an interjection of some humbleness amongst this team. I'm not saying to not celebrate home runs and stuff, but maybe every time you get a single, don't do the hand gesture. Maybe don't do all the little on base dances, because it doesn't, what Dan just said, it just doesn't seem like anyone's angry enough about them constantly getting to 500 and then dropping off like this.
We want them throwing the bases around.
Yes,
we want them
like
bases
angry.
into the stand.
Start a fist fight. Like do something to show us that you guys are as frustrated by this level of play. You guys were minutes away from winning the World Series, minutes. And then all of a sudden, now this.
Like I really like what George Springer's doing lately. Like he is treating this seriously. I think back to the weekend when he beat out that ground ball and was like somersaulting through first base and clipped it with his hand. Was a great play. Then it was before Dalton Varsho came up. It was Springer like pleading with him and encouraging him and celebrating way more than Dalton Varsho would ever celebrate. That's serious baseball. And that's giving a damn at the right time. Like there's been a lot of discourse this last week about Vladdy running out ground balls. And
was anything said about Saturday's incident?
Good question. I wasn't down there on Saturday, but I want to find out today. But it wasn't good enough. Just wasn't. Like I feel like a lot of people are hesitant to like, oh, you don't want to dump on Vlad. It's fine. It wasn't good enough. It just wasn't, and that's okay. You got to do it better next time. But then you see George Springer busting his ass up the line and doing everything possible to get that base, and he got it. Over the course of a season, that will be the difference between you hitting 291 and 297. It's free. It's free to go take that. Take it. If you are OPSing 1,000, if you're Barry Bonds, sure, like trot up the line a couple times, whatever. I will forget about it very quickly. If you are OPSing under 700, you need to run out every single ground ball there is, because that's for free. It's sitting right in front of you. Like so much of baseball, you can't control. Once a pitcher lets go a pitch, even if it's a great slider, they can't control what the hitter does. When a hitter drives a ball 110 miles an hour off the bat with a blah, blah, blah exit velocity and launch angle, they can't control what happens next. Maybe it gets caught. The one thing you can always control is giving a damn and running. And it's going to steal you a base hit or two along the way. And if you're hitting like Barry Bonds, or if you are 20 games above 500 and you need a little breather so you don't blow your hammy, whatever. cool. I probably will forget by the next day. But if you are playing like this as a team or as an individual, it's going to get focused on. And everyone is going to pay attention to it every single time because you're leaving freebies on the table.
Keegs, I'm not body shaming Vladdy, but has anyone thought about this? Because his profile from the side, he is more slender than he was in the postseason last year. I'm throwing it out there. Could an extra 5-10 pounds weight loss have contributed to his swing and what's happening this year?
This went a different way than I expected, Dan. There we go. Wow. I think I'm traumatized by all of those years I had to go on TV and radio. And people would be like, is Vladdy too heavy? I'd be like, I don't know, dude. I am too. Like, it's fine. You know, like I don't know. He's a DH. It's fine. It's interesting. In spring training, you know, there were those photos of Vladdy. No one seems to understand that if you stand like this and then with your arms above your head, that your body profile changes. It's like, did he lose 20 pounds and pack on muscle? No, he's just standing differently. Like, I can we please understand this? But it's when I look at Vladdy's swing, I've seen so many different shapes of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. over like physically. I have seen him when he has been completely overweight and spoken about that openly. Like, I screwed up, I got out of shape. I've seen that. I've seen him way trimmer, you know, but I think that Vladdy's gift is much like Jose Bautista's gift. And Jose is, compared to Vladdy, is scrawny. Like, Jose Bautista is not a big guy. Their gift is the ability to flip their hips and create that motion through their hips and their core. That's what you're not seeing from Vladdy right now. So that's why, for me, it's just mechanical. It is like when you're watching the last few games of Vladdy, and even when you're watching tonight, there's too much hands. There's a lot of hands. His head is bobbing around. It doesn't look like him. When you look to last year, think of Bautista, how his body would just uncoil. Like, he would hit the ball further than anyone. It doesn't matter if they were 100 pounds heavier than him, because he created so much torque and so much power by uncoiling his body. It just exploded. Right now, it seems like Vladdy's hands are leading and just kind of dragging his hips through the swing. There's no power to be found there. Like, listen, as a fellow large-built man like Vladdy, 90% of our power comes from these upper legs that have been carrying our heavy selves around all of our lives, okay? Vladdy's power is in the legs, the hips, his core. It's not in his hands and wrists, okay? It's not. It's not there. That's how you can slap singles and line drives to right center field. There's a time and a place, and sure, those are cool. But until he starts exploding, really turning through these swings, it's not going to go anywhere. Until he's pulling the ball in the air, nothing good is going to happen, because he's not tapping into what really is his superpower that I think he can do at 210 pounds or 300 pounds. He's just not exploding. There's a lot of hands right now.
So no validity to my conspiracy theory.
I'll help him out. You know, like, I could get 10 pounds on Vladdy by Thursday. All right. Like, I got a couch, right? Be like, look, we can put him on my couch with me. And any of those players, I can help them pack on a bit.
What is this that just strictly DoorDash?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Just
bread and beer for a few days. I'll get you that fixed up.
Sounds to me like the $20 million consultant you mentioned earlier might be Shakira, because she's good with working at the hips. Is there any chance this team becomes a seller at the deadline the way things are going?
Man, there's a chance. I don't think it happens.
I don't think it does, just because the attendance numbers.
Yeah, it's hard to sell when you've got 40K on Tuesdays. But, I mean, even looking at this now, the Jays are 2.5 back of the wild card. Cleveland, Seattle, Houston, and the A's are ahead of them. The Twins are ahead of them. Baltimore, Boston. These aren't good baseball teams, okay? I'm not saying they're terrible. I'm not trying to crap on them. But I don't see any of these teams and think, oh, my God, they're going to run away, right? The Yankees in the first wild card spot, because the Rays are leading the division, yeah, they're good. I don't think the Jays are catching the Yankees because they are 9.5 games back. Not going to happen. But looking at Cleveland, Seattle, Houston, the A's, Minnie, Baltimore, Boston, the Angels, who is scaring you right now? Like, yeah, the Jays are shooting themselves in the foot and playing bad baseball. But which one of those teams do you look at and say, oh, no chance, no chance? It's so wide open. And I think this will be a slow, kind of annoying trade deadline, frankly, because all of these teams are going to think they have a chance. Now, if the Jays were to get into a spot where they could kind of soft sell, you've got Kevin Gausman, who is a pending free agent. Bieber, whoever he is by then. Scherzer, we'll see who he is. Springer, Varsho, I don't know what there would be there. It's not all that exciting, you know. I think any team that is close wants to go for it. And if you are spending hundreds of millions of dollars and getting 40K a night, that's just even more of a tiebreaker. Like you got to try, but that's kind of some of the beef I have with the third wild card spot, where like, are teams really going for it, or are they just trying to get invited to the party and have a drink and leave? It's tough.
Well, this will make Jays fans feel better about themselves, because it sure did for me. I am in the baseball algorithm on Instagram, and this guy made a video. He said, the other day I did a rankings of all the teams in baseball. He said, I was shocked because every fan base said you have our team ranked too high. He said every fan base currently hates their team. So I'm like, we aren't alone.
Absolutely. Like, unless you're a Rays fan, many of you, like, God bless you. Like, if you're a White Sox fan, cool. This is like a cool, fun surprise of a season. But when I look at like the AL West, the Rangers are leading at 500. Like, no one's excited about that.
No.
If you're a Dodgers or a Yankees or a Brewers fan or a Braves fan, sure, great. Everyone else in baseball is just kind of like, like, and when it comes to the trade, like if the trade deadline was tomorrow, there'd be like 4 buyers and a bunch of other teams just being like, I could go either way. Like, it's a mess of a league, man. It's a total mess right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of messes, the Mets roll into town with Bo Bichette now, and that'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting homecoming, given the way things have been going for both teams at this point.
Yeah, the Mets are bad too. And Bo Bichette, despite how many people think the solution for the Blue Jays is that they go back in time and sign Bo Bichette and his sub 700 OPS. I don't know how that helps, but sure. This will be interesting because they are two teams who are desperate, frankly. The Mets, they've got injuries, they've got drama. The Mets season is going badly in even stupider ways than the Blue Jays. Like, I promise, no matter how tortured you feel as a Jays fan, I promise you it could be worse. I'm interested to see the response too. Like, I think and I believe and I hope it is very positive for Bo Bichette. Frankly, guys, this should have been Bo Bichette's ring ceremony today in Toronto, and they should have been playing that home run off Ohtani 10 times on the video board. Like, there's an alternate reality that's not very far away where this is a ring ceremony and it closes the book on the entire World Series run and celebration, because Bo comes back to get his ring and you move on. So I hope he gets the reception that he deserves. Like John Schneider said yesterday, he'll probably hate it, but whatever. He gets the gift of speaking to Toronto media one more time. Congratulations, Bo Bichette. And we'll go from there. But I mean, good Lord, someone has to win these games. I checked the rule book, fellas. Someone's got to win.
He will get an ovation because Jays fans just want to be happy about something. So that's why it will happen. Thanks, Keeks.
You got it, guys.